Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of the Tranmere Rovers Road to Glory. We have a very exciting episode ahead of us today as we are making another push for promotion, this time from the EFL Championship to the Premier League. It's not what looked possible at the beginning of the season. We were looking at just trying to fight relegation and possibly getting into the mid-table, which was one of our goals from the board. But now, after beating West Ham at our place earlier in the season, that was a turning point for this club to kind of push up the board and get all the way to 7th in the league going into the second half of the season. Super exciting. So we do have a little bit of business to take care of before we get into the games, which we do have a hefty amount of games. We had some departures happen going into this month. We had Kenna, Smith, and McGowan. All three of them did leave going into this transfer window as we made the deals during the last half of the season, and they finally just left at the beginning of January. The reason for this was to make money so that we could sign Earthy and Casey. They had one-year loans with buy options. So the goal was to put some of this money towards those buy options. However, for some reason, the game decided to take away that option once we hit January. So for the whole entire half of this season, to finish the season, I thought we lost our chance of securing those buy options to be done. Thankfully, that is not the case. It will appear after this season if we do want to buy them. So that is good. I was a little worried about that, but thankfully after we finish the season, those options will reappear, settle those transfer fees, and to sign them. So that's good. We will still have that option at the beginning of the year, and we will have some of that money to do that. So to get into it, we will be starting with our FA Cup game against Wigan, which was at home. So let's jump over to that game. Alrighty, so we are here with game 1 of the day with the Wigan game in the FA Cup. This game was very, very high tense. We were trying to do a lot of great things to try to get some wins here. So to start, Collier gets the ball just outside the box. It was a good counterattack on this first goal of the game. Fofana puts it in the back of the net to go 1-0 up against Wigan at home. A great start that we did many times this second half of the season. Wigan does get a quick response around the 27th minute where they just take apart our defense again and get a good shot across. Well, just good deflection across, and then it gets a little tap in goal to take it to a draw right away. And then we go all the way down to the 85th minute, and Wigan gets a nice little counter attack, which will go all the way down to score. We were looking like this was it. We're losing this game. Too late of a chance to turn it around. Just not looking good. But right off of the kickoff, we take advantage of what we're doing with the ball, not losing it, making sure our passes were very clear and deliberate. And we're able to get Pasquale down in there for a pass to Cook, which Cook puts it in the top corner and ties it 2-2 in injury time, just barely into injury time. Crowd goes wild. Everyone's jumping down their seats to go try to celebrate with the team a little bit, and that will push us all the way into extra time, which nothing happened. So we will go right to penalties. Which we get to start with Earthy taking the first penalty. And he hits it off the crossbar, or the left post, which then leaves our opponents to try to score, but Waite decides very well which way they were going to go. Brennan is next, and he misses the net on the right side, which was just like, what is going on? Waite trying to push him to go the wrong way, but a good guess, but they got it into the corner, unable to get it. We're trying to not miss too much left or right, and we end up going right down the middle, and they save it. Which then Wake gets a good save on the next penalty, which still keeps us in it. Pasquale has a chance to score, tries to go top left, they save it. We still have not scored a goal. The opponents have a chance to pretty much secure this, and they do. Waite was doing very well on the guessing, but just wasn't getting a hand on 2 of those. And they will go on to beat us at our home place, which was just devastating that we could not put the ball in the back of the net. We go into our second game with not a good record there after ending the last half of the season very well. So next game is against Southampton, where we again get off to a hot start. Earthy, back of the net, doing very, very well. 9th minute to get that goal. Just couldn't do anything better than that. And then we get just another good attack going where Ferrari runs up the side and helps Collier not have to run up that side. And Pasquale passes to Earthy, and Earthy gets 2 goals within 20 minutes of the game, putting on a show. And hence why we really want to secure this transfer option, because he is just producing so much for us that we need that in the Premier League if we do get promoted, or even for next year to push for promotion to keep him at the club. Earthy crosses the halfway line, and Pasquale just gets an easy run down the middle and gets it up to 3-1. 3-0. And that just helps kind of secure it for the most part going into second half, where Southampton gets a very early attempt at a goal, and they do secure it to go 3-1. Only a 2-goal lead with much of a second half to go is not very securing, so we're desperately trying to keep that going our way, but Southampton get another good attack around the 67th minute and just take apart our defense once again, and just dribble it around all of our guys and get a good goal to go 3-2, making us shake in our boots a little bit, not quite knowing what's going to happen. But shortly after that, we get the kickoff, we keep the ball, and we just get a good attack and go up 4-2, and that would secure it for the Rovers going into their next game. So a good bounce back after the Wigan game to try to turn things around. Which then we go to Leicester City. Leicester City beating us at the beginning of the season. We now have a chance to maybe turn that around for us. We do get the first goal once again in this game, with Mane getting a great goal from outside the box, making it 1-0 at Leicester City's home field. But it does not last too long while they do get a throw-in in our corner, and they just don't know what was happening on defense here, but we just were not trying anything worth helpful, and they just get a nice easy goal in the top corner, which makes this game 1-1 and would end in a draw for the Rovers. On to the West Ham game. This is a little bit of a revenge game possibly for West Ham, as we did beat them at home. So now we are playing away to West Ham. Pasquale gets the ball in there to Collier to go 1-0 up against West Ham. Was starting to look like maybe we do own West Ham as a club. Maybe we have their number. We didn't quite know quite yet, but we just got off to another good hot start against them, getting up 1-0. And then in the 65th minute, we get another good kind of counterattack on them, where Collier just runs it in, beats the back three, and gets it 2-0, which is how it was going to end for the rest of the game. Super, super exciting to beat West Ham both times this season we played against them. That gave us the confidence to push for playoffs, and it kind of helped us possibly push for a good stretch of games, where we were playing against Wolves and it was 0-0 for the majority of this game, and then we finally get a good push on attack, and Pasquale is able to put it in the back net for Wolves and to win that game 1-0 after losing 1-0 at the beginning of the year against Wolves. So a good bounce back in that game, which then takes us to the Portsmouth game, and we get a little corner. We get a good corner here right before the half, which Collier picks it up after some touches and just runs it in and gets a good goal there, which for that game also, that was all that happened the entirety of the game. It was kind of a wild just back and forth, but no one could really get any attacks going, and that was the only attack that was able to be produced. Which then brings us to the Swansea game, where we get off to another hot start. As you can see, Collier with the ball, dribbling around. May gets a good pass up to Earthy, and Earthy buries it in the lower right corner. Just another good hot start, keeping this win streak possibly alive, which then Earthy gets another good run down the middle, passes up to Pasquale. Pasquale pulls back and gets a good goal in the right side once again to go up 2-0. Just absolutely pulling Swansea apart in the first beginning minutes of this game. And then all the way in the second half, Swansea do finally start getting a little bit of an attack. We're not attacking for some reason. We're just sitting way back, which just allowed them to get a nasty goal where Cooper just absolutely smokes it out of the air and puts it in the corner. But we did not let that slide very long, as we do bounce back with a great goal from Charles Cook. Charles Cook was showing up this season, being a backup, just coming off of that bench and just absolutely showing that he is possibly the man for the job maybe, but we would possibly see more of that later on. We then get to the Wrexham game. We were hoping for a good fight between two amazing Road to Glory squads. Wrexham goes up 1-0 early in this game. It's our first game in a while where we haven't scored first, so this was goofy to not be scoring first. And then shortly after that, we do get a nice little attack where Brennan was able to get one in the back of the net, so we're nice to be able to get that to go back 1-1 at Wrexham's home field. We then start to just pull them apart. We're not really going to talk too much about each goal, but we just started to pull them completely apart, where Charles Cook gets a good goal there. And then after that, it was just kind of a murder fest. They just defending was just not good. They were all over the place, and we were just running guys in and just getting goal after goal. Everyone was just getting a taste of it. Brennan got a goal, and then we took him off, and then everyone was just, Whittaker came on and got a goal. Like, backups that don't get many games were just coming in and just getting goals against Wrexham, which was just not a great look at all. And I think Whittaker got a double in this game. So a guy that does not touch the field much anymore for our team just kept getting really, really good chances at making goals. So the front part of the team was getting a lot of chances this game, ending at 6-1. Which then brings us to the at least 2 games to start of playoffs against Sheffield United. We continued our great starting position in this game, where Pasquale just dribbles around everybody and gets a nice little goal to go up 1-0 to start the playoffs. A lot better of a start than last year's playoffs. To get off to a 1-0 start made us feel a little bit better, like we could maybe keep this run of form going. And we just started pulling their defense apart. They just were not well positioned on these counterattacks we were producing. And that was just a common theme, it felt like. We just had really good counterattacks all year long this year. And that was how we were scoring a lot of goals, was just on counterattacks. And it kept showing 2-0 up, and then Earthy gets it to make it 3-0 on another good counterattack. And just making it look like we might just be kind of running away with this once again in the playoffs for the first 2 legs of it. But we do get a bad cross clear, which then just allows Campbell to bring it into the box and let them get a goal in the 80th minute to make it 3-1. And to make it a little interesting going into the second leg, they could maybe bounce back like what happened last year. However, Earthy has the ball, gets a good pass to Collier, and we make it 4-1. So that made us feel a little more comfortable this year, where we get off to the hot start in the second minute and give ourselves a 3-goal lead to go into the game longer. Doesn't last long, as Sheffield gets the ball right off the kickoff and take very well advantage of it, just somehow keeping the ball in these situations. And they just get a nasty goal. Waite should have had a hand on that, and he didn't. And they were able to bounce back and make it 4-2 and we needed to show up something, and before the half we were able to get another goal to make it 5-2, which just made us more comfortable again on, okay, we can possibly get out of this alive and secure it very, very well. And just for giggles again, very shortly after that, Sheffield did score and make it interesting again. 2 goals with 20 minutes left. Anything could happen, but unfortunately, as you can see here for Sheffield, it was just a little bit too late for that, and Tranmere Rovers will win the first round of the playoffs 5-3 and will go on to Wembley with a chance to get promoted to the Premier League, which again, did not see that happening at the beginning of the season, but we turned something around this second half of the season, and we are now going to be going up against a team that we have a 1-1 split with, and that is the club themselves, Wolves. We will be going up against Wolves at Wembley for the EFL Championship Playoffs trophy, which would be interesting for 2 trophies to be in our cabinet the last 2 years to be playoff trophies. Again, I don't know how I 100% feel about that being our trophies and counting them as trophies, but wins are wins, I guess. We got to take them when we do, because who knows, we might never win anything again if we stay in the Premier League. So we got to take everything we can get right now. Collier had kind of was our main guy really the last 2 games in a weird way. He was kind of the only guy that was getting multiple goals at the time, so keeping an eye on him, but a super exciting game ahead for us. So let's go to the 18th minute, and Wolves gets a nice little attack here where they are just getting the hold on to the ball, and we are not doing anything to attack them and just letting them do whatever they want. And they will end up rolling it on the ground into the back of the net in the 21st minute to go 1-0 up in this game. I was not feeling good at this point because 20 minutes in, we did not have much of the ball at this time. So I was getting a little worried that we were just going into this game with no chance at producing anything. And it showed very shortly after that, because we got the ball, we lost it, and Wolves took it right down to get a second goal on us, not making us feel very good about what was happening. And I was starting to get a little worried that this could be like a 5-0 blowout and we're back in the championship next year. But before the end of the half, we get a goal. We get a really good little counter attack on one of their attacks on us, and Pasquale was able to throw it in the back of the net from a great pass from Collier across the box, and we were able to make it 2-1 going into the second half. And then shortly into the second half, we were able to make another good attack, and Mane was able to throw the ball in the back top left corner against his former club. And that was just kind of our recipe this year. You know, we were taking players from rival teams in the championship and play really well against them. So going into shortly after that second goal, we get a third one. We get a third goal shortly after our second to take the lead for the first time in the game. And it was starting to look very FIFA-like, EAFC-like, where Collier shows in his celebration that this is just crazy that this is happening. We hold on to that 3-2 all the way to the 86th minute, where we just get a good counterattack off of one of Wolves' attacks and pretty much secure the playoff victory and showing our way to the Premier League at this point. The team's so excited that somehow after the start we had this year, we are going to the Premier League, joining the high ranks of English football. And Wolves would get one last little attack possibly here, maybe, but Proctor does very well there to take the ball away. The ref blows the whistle, and Tranmere Rovers are going back to back promotions in a very stylish way, where we got auto promotion in year one and then 2 playoff promotions back-to-back seasons. And it showed in the playoffs where we just dominated at stretches of the playoffs, and it showed in the final. Once we went down 2-0, we scored 4 unanswered goals. It was really, really cool to see our dear captain for this season to lift the cup for us and show the world that we're coming for that Premier League, and we're gonna hopefully show up and get some wins and not get relegated. That is going to be the goal going into next year. Don't get relegated. Show that we can actually do it and be here and compete against these top clubs. It's going to be super exciting to see how well this team can do against the Premier League, and maybe try to push for some European football maybe in year one. If not, I think it's going to be tough to do it in year one. Hopefully year two we can build a team up to where we can maybe push for European football. Yeah, it was a crazy roller coaster of a season, and to again get into the playoffs and show up and get a playoff victory once again was just really, really amazing. So to end with that, we now have to go through our season review. To go back to last season, we finished 4th in the league. This year we finished 5th in the league. And then EFL Trophy, EFL Cup, we finished in round 1 last year. We just lost out of the gate. This year we did make it to round 2 before getting knocked out. FA Cup, we got to round 3 this year. And last year we also were round 3 and got knocked out. So that was kind of tough that we did not do any better this year. But just like last year, we get to the playoffs, we show dominance, and we win those games and move on to getting promoted. So that is super exciting to have 3 promotions in a row in a series. I did not see that coming. I thought we were going to struggle a little bit here and there when we had to upgrade our teams, but thankfully that was not the case, and we were able to move up very rapidly. We did have one arrival this year, one arrival at the end of this season before going into next year. I will be mentioning it next season also, but to just kind of give one last arrival before we end this off, Sane will be joining us from Burnley as a right back. Since we couldn't activate any of those transfer options, my really hope was we could take that and hopefully push it into next season, and maybe be able to activate those before they go back on loan. And so I was just like, you know what, let's spend the money now while we have it. So we did sign Sonny at right back to upgrade that position at least. So Proctor will fall down to secondary, and Sonny will be coming in as our starter. And thankfully, when we do jump to next season, we will have the buy option. So that was a good play by the manager to go into next season and see that option. So it was that's going to be helpful. So we will announce Sonny again in the next episode, but just to show that very quickly, we did make one last signing before the end of the year, and Sonny was that person. So if you want to watch the Premier League journey now, go follow the Twitch and the YouTube where you're watching this great recap video, as we are as this is where we stream it also. We'll stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, and then all the past streams will be up on YouTube to watch if you want to watch the full journey and not watch the recaps. Next season, the recap videos are going to stay with the stream. So when I do a stream, everything that happens in that stream, I will do a recap on that the next day and then release it hopefully the next day. The goal is to release it on that next day. And then try to do 2 episodes a week on that. Hopefully still kind of like do half and half, like get a quarter of the season done at a time. But instead of waiting for half a season and then doing a recap video, we're going to try to keep it going with the episodes. We will still be doing half of the games played and then sim the other half, as that is what was determined. So we will be playing just like we have the last 3 seasons. So keep an eye out for those recap videos shortly the day after to see how things are going into the next stream. Super excited to kind of see, and we'll be releasing clips from moments of those 2 episodes at least to kind of show, hey, this is what's happening. Make sure to watch it live so you don't miss these amazing moments. So we'll have those made also. Those will be released on the weekends when I'm not streaming, so try to keep the content coming out here the next couple months. But yeah, super excited for season 4 to get this going and to make this great series for us. It's been a great journey, and I'm excited to show you what happens next season and what happens in the transfer window and who's coming in, who's going out. Super excited to do that. So hit that subscribe button below, go follow the Twitch, and be there when it all goes down. And yeah, thank you for all the support. Hope to see you all in the next episode and see you in the lives. Until then, don't go changing. Peace.